Good evening, good evening. This is Marie Holiday, and today is Wednesday, January the 27th, 2021. And before we get started, I just want to remind everyone to hit that subscribe button and hit that notification button and subscribe to my channel and also share my channel to someone who you know who can benefit from it. So with that being said, let's get down to the next lecture. I want to talk about the science behind gambling addiction. The science behind gambling addiction. And I just want to remind the audience, I am a licensed clinical addiction specialist. So I'm just going to present a simplified version of the science behind gambling addiction. And I also want to encourage the audience to check out my two prior video uploads that I did on gambling addiction. Please check out those videos. So with that being said, let's get down to today's lecture. I want to talk about dopamine. Dopamine, the neurotransmitter the brain releases during enjoyable activities such as eating, having sex, or for some people, using drugs, is also released during situations where the reward is uncertain. Dopamine is also released during situations where the reward is uncertain, such as gambling in the potential of winning. And I'm here to tell you. In fact, dopamine release increase particular during the moments leading up to a potential reward such as gambling. And also, this anticipation effect might explain why dopamine release parallels an individual levels of gambling high and the severity of his or her gambling addiction. And I'm here to tell you. So dopamine likely also plays a role in reinforcing the high risk taking behavior seen in gambling, that risk taking behavior seen in gambling. In addition, studies have shown that the release of dopamine during gambling occurs in brain areas similar to those activated by taking drugs of abuse, such as alcohol, cocaine, marijuana, methamphetamine, etc. So again, studies have shown that the release of dopamine during gambling occurs in brain areas similar to those activated by taking various drugs of abuse. And that's very interesting. In fact, similar to drugs, repeated exposure to gambling in uncertainty produces lasting changes in the human brain, according to research. These reward pathways, similar to those seen in individuals suffering from drug addiction, become very hypersensitive. Studies suggest that these brain changes due to uncertainty can even enhance the gambler's craving and desire for addicted drugs. Because as time goes on, as the person gambling addiction progresses, they will also begin to partake in alcohol and drugs and become addicted to the alcohol or drugs. Repeated exposure to gambling and uncertainty can even change how you respond to losing. Losing money comes to trigger the reward release of dopamine almost to the same degree that winning does. So again, that's very that kind of give you something to think about. Losing money comes to trigger the rewarding release of dopamine almost to the same degree that winning does. So as a result, in problem gamblers, losing sets off the urge to keep playing over and over and over again. Win some, lose some, win some, lose more and more and more. It's just like a vicious cycle. So rather than the disappointment that might prompt you to walk away, a phenomenon known as chasing losses begin to occur. So that's just a very simplified explanation of the science behind gambling addiction and why it's so important to seek help if you have gambling addiction. There's individual counseling a person can get involved in for their gambling addiction. There's Gambling Anonymous. There's a lot of 1-800 numbers out there that a person can call to get help from their gambling addiction, and I'm here to tell you. So ladies and gentlemen, with that being said, that is the completion of a simplified version of gambling addiction. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button, hit that notification button, and simplify. I will see you all again next time. Have a great evening.